A letter was written, elegant, diplomatic, carefully worded to stroke the pride of the mortal queens. Rhys's handwriting, sharp and deliberate, carried the weight of generations. We offered them power, we offered them knowledge, and we waited. Days passed. No response, no word, no sign that the queens would even consider it. We stayed in that house, waiting, suffocating. Nesta barely spoke. When she did, her words were clipped, sharp as a blade pressed against a throat. Cassian watched her, studied her, like a warrior sizing up an opponent, like something about her fascinated him. She never looked at him once. Elain did what she could to soften the air. Fresh flowers appeared in vases, delicate pastries on silver trays. But she could not stop the way Nesta's silence coiled tighter with each passing hour. This house, these walls, I had once dreamed of never leaving them. Now, I felt like a ghost, haunting a life that wasn't mine anymore. I did not fit here. I did not belong here. And yet, this was still my family, and I would not let them be swallowed by the war that was coming. Then, finally, a response. A sealed letter, carried by a messenger dressed in black. We gathered around as Rhysand read it aloud. They would come? And our gamble had begun. We took no chances. Guards were set, wards reinforced, exit strategies planned. Cassian and Azriel would flank the room, silent and watchful. Moore would speak when diplomacy required it. Rhysand would sit as he always did, smiling, calm, deadly beneath the surface. And I would be their proof. A human girl turned high fae, a warning of what was coming. Golden carriages gleamed in the afternoon sun, like something out of a fairy tale, like something that did not belong in this house, on this land, but neither did I. The queens had arrived. They arrived in gold and silk, with eyes like sharpened blades. They did not bow. They did not smile. The mortal queens had come to pass judgment. We gathered in the sitting room, the walls too narrow to contain the weight of what was about to unfold. Nesta and Elain sat stiffly at my side, one cold as steel, the other a trembling leaf. Rhysand lounged in his chair, calm, unreadable. Cassian and Azriel stood behind him, warriors hiding their stillness behind casual disinterest. Moore sat poised, radiant, a blade wrapped in velvet. The queens did not acknowledge them, did not acknowledge me. Their attention was fixed on only one person. "We have heard of you, Rhysand of the Night Court." The eldest queen's voice was a shard of ice. "We have heard of what you do, what your court is, and we wonder, what makes you any different from the terrors that lurk beyond the wall?" Her sisters watched, waiting, assessing. Rhysand smiled. "Perhaps, my lady, you should let me show you." "Hybern is moving," I said. "His forces are gathering. He will come for your lands, your people, your thrones." The golden-haired queen tilted her head, her lips curving in amusement. "And why should we care what happens to the Fae?" My hands clenched beneath the table, nails digging into my palms. "Because you will be next." Silence. Then, a slow, calculating smile. "So you ask us to hand over the one thing that might protect us from both sides?" The second half of the Book of Breathings, their only weapon. And they were not fools. "Do not let our people suffer for your arrogance." Nesta's voice cut through the room, through the air, through centuries of mistrust and pride. The queens only turned their heads toward her, as if noticing her for the first time. One of them let out a soft, bemused laugh. "You would make a fine queen yourself," she mused. Nesta did not react, did not blink. "Give them the book." Did you think we would be moved by your letter? Your plea?" Their expressions did not waver. Their spines remained straight as daggers. "If you wish for us to trust you, then show us. Show us your city." The air in the room shifted. Moore's nails dug into the armrest of her chair. Rhysand's power rippled, just for a heartbeat. The gamble we had played had turned against us. To reveal Velaris was to expose everything we had fought to protect. And yet, if we did not, if we walked away with nothing, Hybern would win. "Very well," Rhysand said, voice like silk, like steel. A choice was made. A secret would be revealed. He showed them Velaris. Moore held the Veritas orb between her hands, its light, pale, shifting. It was older than the courts themselves, older than the wall. The truth crystallized into pure magic. "Look," she whispered, "and see." The orb pulsed, and the room around us faded away. They saw it as Rhys saw it. The city of starlight, the heartbeat of the night court. They saw the boats gliding through the Sidra, the white stone streets lined with laughter and music. They saw the rainbow of Velaris, bursting with color, with art, with life. They saw a city untouched by war, a people untouched by fear. And they saw why we had kept it secret for 5,000 years. Why Rhysand had let the world believe he was a monster. Why he had let them think the worst of him. When the vision faded, the queens were silent. For the first time, they had no words. But the oldest one, she only smiled. "Your trust is appreciated. We will consider your request. A brush-off, a dismissal. A game we had already lost. Consider?" Nesta's voice was steel, was ice, was fire. "People will die while you sit in your golden palaces and consider. That is not our concern." Nesta rose to her feet, fists clenched, ready to fight, ready to tear them apart. But the queens only turned and walked away. When they were gone, we thought we had lost, that the gamble had been for nothing. But beneath the empty chair of the golden-haired queen, something gleamed. A small box, unmarked, left behind. Rhysand picked it up, fingers tense, opened it. And inside, the second half of the Book of Breathings. A slip of parchment rested beneath the book. Her words were sharp, urgent. "I believe in peace. I believe in you. Take this before it is too late. Do not trust the others. The 6th queen was never ill. She is already gone."